The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most enduring and complex conflicts in the world. It is a conflict deeply rooted in history, religion, and national identity. To understand this intricate situation, we must journey back through time, exploring the historical events and grievances that have shaped the present. This essay aims to provide a concise historical overview of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, shedding light on the key events and turning points that have led to the current impasse. From ancient times, the land now known as Israel and the Palestinian territories has been a crossroads of civilizations, a land of immense religious significance, and a battleground for empires. Its history is a tapestry woven with periods of coexistence and conflict, tolerance and persecution. By understanding this complex past, we can better grasp the present and perhaps even envision a future where peace prevails. This historical exploration will take us from the ancient Israelites and the Roman Empire to the rise of Islam, the Crusades, and the Ottoman era. We will delve into the emergence of Zionism, the impact of British colonialism, and the horrors of the Holocaust. Finally, we will examine the creation of Israel in 1948, the subsequent displacement of Palestinians, and the ongoing struggle for a just and lasting peace. The road to understanding is paved with the stories of the past. Let us begin our journey through time to unravel the intricate threads of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Our journey begins millennia ago, with the emergence of the Israelites and their connection to the land. According to biblical tradition, Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt and into Canaan, the land promised to them by God. This period, around the 13th century BCE, marks the beginning of a deep-rooted religious and historical connection between the Jewish people and this land. King David, a pivotal figure in Jewish history, united the Israelite tribes and established Jerusalem as his capital in the 10th century BCE. His son Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem, further solidifying the city's religious significance for Jews. The first temple became the center of Jewish worship and a symbol of their national identity. However, this period of unity and prosperity was not to last. In 722 BCE, the Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom of Israel, scattering the 10 northern tribes, known as the 10 Lost Tribes. Then, in 586 BCE, the Babylonians conquered the southern kingdom of Judah, destroying the first temple and exiling many Jews to Babylon. This event, known as the Babylonian exile, left an indelible mark on Jewish consciousness, shaping their yearning for a return to their homeland. After decades of exile, the Persians allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple in 515 BCE, marking a period of restoration and hope. The Second Temple stood as a beacon of faith and resilience for centuries. However, the land would soon face yet another powerful empire, Rome.
The Roman conquest of Judea in 63 BCE brought about significant changes to the region. While initially allowing Jewish self-governance under Herod the Great, Roman rule eventually became increasingly oppressive. In 70 CE, following a Jewish revolt, Roman legions destroyed Jerusalem and the Second Temple, an event that continues to be mourned by Jews today as the destruction of the Second Temple. The Romans renamed Judea Syria-Palestina after the Philistines, an ancient enemy of the Israelites, in an attempt to erase Jewish ties to the land. Despite facing persecution and displacement, Jewish communities continued to exist in the land, holding onto their faith and cultural identity. In the 7th century CE, a new force emerged in the Middle East: Islam. The Arab conquest of Palestine in 636 CE brought the region under Islamic rule, which would last for centuries. The Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque were built in Jerusalem, becoming important holy sites for Muslims. The arrival of the Crusaders from Europe in the 11th century marked a period of religious warfare in the region. The Crusaders, driven by religious zeal, conquered Jerusalem in 1099 and established short-lived kingdoms. However, Muslim forces eventually regained control of Jerusalem in 1187 under Saladin, a revered Muslim leader. Following the Crusader period, the Mamluks, a Muslim dynasty of slave soldiers, ruled over Palestine for over 2 centuries, from 1291 to 1517. Under Ottoman rule, which began in the 16th century, Palestine experienced a period of relative stability. The Ottoman Empire, a vast and diverse Muslim empire, controlled the region for the next 400 years.
By the late 19th century, the seeds of the modern Israeli-Palestinian conflict began to be sown. The rise of nationalism in Europe had a profound impact on the Jewish people. Zionism, a movement advocating for the establishment of a Jewish state in Palestine, gained momentum. Theodor Herzl, a Jewish journalist from Vienna, is considered the father of modern political Zionism. His book, The Jewish State, published in 1896, argued that the only solution to anti-Semitism and persecution was the creation of a Jewish state. At the same time, Jewish immigration to Palestine, known as Aliyah, increased, fueled by persecution in Europe and the Zionist vision. These early Zionist settlers purchased land from Ottoman authorities and began establishing agricultural communities. This influx of Jewish immigrants, however, led to tensions with the local Arab population, who felt their land and way of life were under threat. World War I brought about a seismic shift in the region. The Ottoman Empire, allied with Germany, lost control of Palestine to the British in 1917. The Balfour Declaration, a letter from British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour to Lord Rothschild, a prominent Zionist leader, declared British support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The Balfour Declaration, while expressing support for Zionist aspirations, also stated that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. This ambiguous declaration, open to multiple interpretations, laid the groundwork for future conflict.
The British Mandate for Palestine, granted by the League of Nations in 1922, officially tasked Britain with administering the territory and implementing the Balfour Declaration. Jewish immigration to Palestine continued to increase, particularly during the 1930s, as Jews fled Nazi persecution in Europe. This led to further tensions and outbreaks of violence between Jewish and Arab communities. The Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany during World War II, had a profound impact on the course of the conflict. The horrors of the Holocaust strengthened the resolve of many Jews to establish a state in their ancient homeland, where they believed they would be safe from persecution. During World War II, the Jewish community in Palestine largely supported the British war effort. However, some factions within the Jewish community, such as the Irgun and Lehi, carried out armed attacks against British targets, seeking an end to British rule and the establishment of a Jewish state. The Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Amin al-Husseini, collaborated with Nazi Germany, further exacerbating tensions. The Mufti's actions, while condemned by many Palestinians, continue to be a source of controversy and are often used to delegitimize the Palestinian narrative. As World War II came to an end, the situation in Palestine became increasingly untenable. The British, caught between their commitments to both Jews and Arabs, faced mounting pressure to find a solution. However, the stage was set for a bloody conflict that would erupt with the end of the British Mandate.
In the aftermath of World War II, the British government, unable to find a solution acceptable to both Jews and Arabs, referred the Palestine question to the newly formed United Nations. In 1947, the UN General Assembly voted to partition Palestine into 2 states, one Jewish and one Arab, with Jerusalem under international control. The Jewish leadership accepted the partition plan, viewing it as an opportunity to establish a Jewish state. However, the Arab leadership rejected the plan, arguing that it was unfair to give more than half of Palestine to the Jewish minority, who owned only a small percentage of the land at the time. The Palestinian Arabs, who had been denied self-determination under Ottoman and British rule, felt betrayed by the international community. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, declared the independence of the State of Israel. The very next day, armies from neighboring Arab states, Egypt, Syria, Transjordan, Lebanon, and Iraq, invaded the newly declared state, marking the beginning of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. The 1948 war, known in Israel as the War of Independence, and in the Arab world as the Nakba, or catastrophe, had a profound impact on the region. Israeli forces emerged victorious, securing more territory than allocated to them under the UN partition plan. However, the war also resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands